emotions of your players after that first leg?
I think disappointed to lose the game. I thought it was a really close match, well fought, both teams. I wouldn't say we're necessarily at our best on the ball, either team maybe, but the work rate of both teams and the desire to win this game was clear. But as a determination, we have a determination that we're still in the game. It's going to be really tough, more tough now to go there, 1 goal down. But we can only be positive. We've had a season now that we've managed to get into the playoffs. That's a big positive. And now the lads have an opportunity. So it's up to us to give it our everything.
Given the controversial decisions we saw, was there a sense of injustice at all?
It's not. It's very. I wouldn't say it's unique, but it doesn't happen often where a referee takes a moment, gives a penalty, and then takes it away via the assistant referee, the linesman. And the linesman gave a defensive foul, which it wasn't. So that was a disappointment from our fact that you don't really see that much. Referee gives a decision; it's normally final. So that was disappointing, but it doesn't change now. We can talk about it as much as we want. We're 1-0 down. We go to Ellen Road. Sometimes decisions level themselves out. Let's see if one comes our way at Ellen Road.
Do you tell your players to forget about that now, or can they almost use the frustration?
They've already forgotten. They've already forgotten about the penalty. It's been and gone. I certainly won't be harping on about it. What we're doing now is trying to prepare for the game. It's going to be a tough match, a big atmosphere. And as I say, if we work hard, approach it in the way we've approached the last 4 to 6 weeks, particularly in this running, then we still have a chance in this match.
Given you didn't feel that you were at your best and there wasn't a shot on target, you're only 1-0 down, aren't you? It's not a mountain to climb.
Yeah, I mean, after the game I said that I think I stand by it, we made some small errors on the ball and some decisions, small details that tend to turn these games, or the perception of how you're feeling in the game when you give the ball away a bit too much. But off the ball we were really good, and I think Leeds were too, they generally are. And so I think both teams found it hard to play as fluently as they might want to. And in the first half, Leeds didn't have any shots on target, as well as ourselves, and it was one of those games. We had some opportunities, really. We're looking back, balls flying across the 6-yard box. We should be in there trying to finish them for a tap-in, an early chance for Nugent. So there were elements of the game, but we can talk about that game as long as we want. We have another game coming up now, which is all important. So we reflect on it in-house, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
And how do you approach the game? Do you go out and try and get an equaliser as quickly as possible? Is it a waiting game?
No, we just have to worry about ourselves. I don't think we have to go crazy. It's half-time in a game where we're 1-0 down. I know that this year, I think of pretty much any team, we are a team that have come back from negative results and turned them around into positives. This will be our biggest test yet on that front. But yeah, we'll prepare ourselves. I want the lads to apply themselves as they have been doing recently, because I cannot complain about anything. But as I said, if we can change those small details on the ball, and we have to be a bit more composed. We have some young players, they have to accept the pressure of what Ellen Road will bring, and be confident, because I'll back them. I want them to play football. I want them to give everything so they can come off that pitch, win, lose or draw, and say that they gave everything.
And we've seen some remarkable comebacks just very recently, certainly from Liverpool and Tottenham. Can you draw inspiration from that?
Well, I'm scared to say too much, because they've got Liverpool and Tottenham were incredible performances. Personnel-wise, the players they have, the way that doesn't happen every week. That was, a one-off in terms of those two coming around. But yeah, a small bit of inspiration. I'm more worried about, as I say, the fact that we've done that ourselves this year in terms of turning results around. We have to believe. That's the most important thing that I'll be telling the players before the game, that we must believe until the last minute, because our fans will travel in numbers to come. And they'll believe, and we have to believe on the pitch.
And what kind of atmosphere are you expecting? It can be intimidating, can it?
Yeah, well, it's a strong atmosphere. It's Ellen Road, it's a stadium of history. I didn't play there that much myself, played there a couple of times, but I know that it will be a tough atmosphere for the players, but they need to rise to that. We need to try and turn that around in a positive for us. There's pressure in this game for both teams, no matter what way you look at it. Leeds, we're looking at promotion at one point. Now they're in the playoffs. There's pressure for them. There's pressure for us. We're 1-0 down, going into a tough atmosphere. This is what the lads, when they were young boys, when they wanted to be football players, were dreaming about. These games, not the mundane ones that we can all sort of play with a lot more ease. These are the pressure ones that will define us.
And these players have obviously experienced that atmosphere, a lot this season there at Ellen Road, given how you went into that game previously and, the reaction we saw from the fans there.
Yeah, I think the Elland Road game before, there's no bearing on this in terms of this is now, we're in the playoffs now. We've played at Elland Road, we've played at Stamford Bridge, we've played at Old Trafford, we've played at Nottingham Forest, tough atmospheres all around. The lads just need to know that's what it is. It's not going to be anything massively different from that. It's going to be a lot of noise, it's going to be a lot of pressure when we have the ball, maybe on the referee, all these things. That comes with big football, it comes with big stadiums, and something we'll need to deal with.
Some of that stick from the fans has come your way. They've come up with this song. I don't know if you've seen it and you heard it. Does things like that bother you?
No, of course not. It's good fun, and I think being a Chelsea player, there was a rivalry always with Leeds. I didn't play them that much because we were in the Premier League, but that comes with it. So we have to. I certainly will take a song all day long. My worry is what the players do on the pitch.
And in terms of your team, how's it looking? Martin Waghorn obviously missed the first leg.
Martin Waghorn's in a similar situation. He broke down on Friday, but he's desperate to be involved and he's training as we speak. So we'll be assessed up until the last moment to try and get him involved.
How big a loss was he? Because he was in great form, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course. He was playing very well for us, giving us everything as a striker, hold up play, desire, trying to win the ball back up the pitch, scoring goals, talent. The reason I brought Martin Waghorn to the club. And he's a big miss for us, of course, but it's something we can't cry about. We'll hope that he can be back and be involved because he has a lot to offer.
In terms of the Leeds team, Kemar Roofe has been ruled out today. Is that a boost to hear that news?
Well, we'll see, because I don't know what their team is until the lineup comes out on the day. But he's a very good player. Kemar Roofe, he scored in the first game. I'm a big admirer of his individually, so of course it'll be a player that Leeds would want, but we all have our problems, so we're worrying about ourselves and they can worry about that one.
And we talked before about the stick from the fans and the song. You'd be hoping that Derby fans can come up with a reply to the Leeds.
No, I don't care, they don't have to. The Derby fans will support us, and they just need to be as loud and vocal, but us as a team need to make them loud and vocal. We need to play with a passion that all the Derby fans that are going to drive to Leeds will have. They're desperate to see this club go and fight. This game, and I said to the players, it's a playoff. You can lose playoffs. This is high-end stuff in the Championship. So much is at stake. But we must give everything. If we're going to lose, if we're going to draw, if we can turn this around, it will only be with absolute effort from the players. So that's our responsibility, and our fans will travel, and hopefully we'll make them happy. Thanks.
Kirsty mentioned the controversial decisions, but there was also spikiness at times between the teams. In your experience, does that carry on when you get two games so close back to back like this? Does that carry through that kind of?
Possibly. There's a lot at stake, and we've had a few games this season now. We all know. Let's not lie. We all know the intensity of this game anyway is big between clubs, and that ramps up in January for obvious reasons. But it's a balance there. I'm not worried about their players. I'm worried about mine, and what they must do is give everything and not overstep the line. By doing anything that could get them sent off, by putting their head into someone, by doing something petulant in the game. Those are the things we need to stay away from. But other than that, give everything.
I was in Hull a couple of years ago when Derby dreadful the first leg and very nearly did it in the second leg. Is there a lesson there to carry to some of the players who are around that about not allowing themselves to be written off?
There are lessons everywhere. There's that game, I know it well, I watched it those few years ago. We watched Tottenham, we watched Liverpool. There are lessons everywhere, but they can only come from within. So as much as you want to talk about them, I think it's important that the players see those lessons briefly, but understand that they have the capabilities. So this is far from over, and we have to just be at it. We have to give everything. I know there's a quality in this group and a resilience in this group because they've shown it through the year. So that's their lesson, more in-house rather than 3 years ago at Derby or Liverpool or Tottenham. It's what we do.
Are you almost half hoping? There are people, probably not in the Leeds camp because they wouldn't be so foolish, but maybe Leeds fans who are almost thinking this is done.
I'm not sure they are. Maybe there are some that are, but this is football. It would be naive to get ahead of ourselves. Anybody, I think in football, I think you always need to stay humble anyway in the end because otherwise things can bite you. But I'm not sure they are. I think in the Championship, I don't know how Leeds fans feel, but we all know that things can go many different ways. So it's certainly 90 minutes of football left means there's a lot to play for.
Sounds like, Frank, you're viewing this very much as an opportunity for your players to reach Wembley rather than maybe, say, from a Leeds perspective, a real chance they'll be in the driving seat now. Can you use that in your favour?
Yeah, I think so. It's our only thing to think. You know, an opportunity. What else are we going to do if we don't see that? Then we may as well not turn up. It's an opportunity to turn a game. And what better way to try and get to Wembley? But there's a lot of work to do in the meantime. But yeah, the mindset has to be that.
And you talk about the pressure of playing at Ellen Road, and given that Wembley is at stake and all of that sort of thing, how difficult is it to replicate that pressurised environment on the training field, or is it just getting them out there and seeing what they do?
Yeah, you can't. It's something that the players will have touched on before. I did speak about the youth of our team the other day, and it's something I thought we dealt with okay in effort terms at Saturday, but there were moments on the ball where we maybe weren't as composed as we normally are. So maybe that was a small lesson. We played at Ellen Road, we played at some fierce away grounds this season, and it's just something the players will need to be ready for. They need to know what's coming. And
when you needed a result this season, whether it be at Ashton Gate, which felt a very important one, against West Brom, which was obviously very important for reaching this stage, even the cup competitions, Hull, Manchester United, you've got a result. You must be hoping that, or have faith in your players that they can do the same again.
I have faith and I have belief that those results are good for that to tap into, but they mean nothing on Wednesday. So tap into it, yes. We've done some big performances this year. We've turned around some games in-game and took a losing game and made it a winning game. Those are things that we know we have, but yeah, we need to take that belief, but also it's purely now on application. It's what we do. It's how we go into this game, how we prepare, how our mindset is, and then more importantly, what we do on the pitch.
We know there's been plenty surrounding the games against Leeds United. Is there almost now a personal, not so much vendetta, but lads, don't make sure they beat you 4 times in one season? Can you draw on that?
I don't know. I don't see the bigger picture. I think it would be slightly taking your eye off the ball to get caught up in any revenge, or can we beat them because of this? All I see is a 1-0 game that needs to be turned around. I don't care who it would be against or what previous there is. It's, can we get to Wembley? We're 1-0 down against a very good team. Can we perform well enough? I'm not worried about history. Thanks.
Sorry, Phil, I didn't know this. I'm a Leeds fan. They've been quite flaky at home recently. Is that something you were telling your players?
We've watched them a lot. We know their results at home. But I've not bought into too much of the talk of their poor running and how it affected them. I thought they played well at Pride Park. I think they're a good team. We know that. So in terms of how I am, I'm not expecting a flaky Leeds. I'm expecting a very good Leeds, and we will have to match that and try and better that to win the game.
Because when Leeds are firing, Ellen Road can be a formidable place, but when it's not going their way, the crowd can turn quite quickly.
Yeah, I expect their fans to back them from first minute to the end, because they should do, because this is a critical time of the season. Teams need support. Ellen Road will be a strong atmosphere. I expect them to back them no matter what on the day. Again, something for us to overcome. Thanks.